20 fingers, 10 strings now. Ring, ring the banjo, I love that good old song. As some of you may know, I have a weakness for banjo music. Those who've heard me try to play the instrument may feel weakness is the perfect word. But the banjo has a great history, and to me there's something magical about the ringing sound of a banjo, especially a 5-string banjo in the right hands and left hands of the best players. And you are about to meet 2 of the best. This is the story of 2 musicians who go their own ways mostly. Béla Fleck out of Nashville and Tony Trischka out of New Jersey. Once or twice every year, though, however far they may have wandered from one another, they find themselves pulled back together again as if by invisible strings. Well, no, that's wrong. The strings that bind them are not invisible. They are banjo strings. Once upon a time, Béla Fleck was Tony Trischka's student.
I don't know how to put it except to say that Tony is one of the greatest banjo players on the planet, and to have him as your teacher was such a thrill for me. It might have been one of the happiest periods in my life, because I knew every week I was going to learn things that I had never heard before from somebody who was creating new frontiers.
Do you remember the first time Béla came in to take a lesson from you?
I do. He was, I guess he was 16 years old, and he could already play some bluegrass things. And he was pretty hot, and so I showed him a bunch of the things that I developed, some more progressive ideas, and he devoured all that stuff. And pretty quickly, you know, I had to say, well, there's not a whole lot more I need to show you. You've really got it here. So we would just jam after that.
They are student and teacher by turns these days in what amounts to a joyful game of musical tag. Joyful for audiences, too.
But you know, you just play that melody and I just play the other melody, and we just back each other up. Sure. Then we'll think of something to come out of it all together with, get a great little...
It's the pretty medley.
The pretty medley.
Béla Fleck and his band, the Flecktones, on stage here at the Smith Opera House in Lake Geneva, New York, had just returned from a tour of China and Thailand and Mongolia, among other Far Eastern places. Tony Trischka had been touring too, a little closer to home, with a musical evening of his own devising called World Turning.
Alas, had it not been for my beloved banjo, I scarcely can conceive how I could have endured those years of bondage.
World Turning tells much of the history of this country through the history of the banjo, brought here from Africa by slaves, played on plantations and by minstrels, and in the cabins of Appalachia and the parlors of Boston. It may be the most American instrument of all precisely because it is an immigrant, given new life in the new world. Anyway, there they were, on tours of their own, making records of their own, with projects aplenty of their own, when they felt the old need to be together again.
The relationship Tony and I have is odd because we might be the only 2 people who actually understand each other on a certain level about some of the things that are going on with the instrument.
You know, I showed him a lot of things in the beginning, and now I'm picking up a lot of things from him. And, you know, there's a real cross-pollination there. So it goes very deep, yeah.
Their paths did converge at the Old Vienna Coffee House in Westboro, Massachusetts.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
These two musicians who go their own ways mostly, Béla Fleck pushing the banjo into the future, and Tony Trischka delving into its past, but each still needing to be refreshed by the other from time to time. Tony Trischka still teaches, by the way. The student in the middle is proof of just how patient he is. Do you think of yourself as a missionary in a way when it comes to the banjo?
I'm so obsessed with it and love it so much. I want people to understand that this is a musical instrument. You can play Bach on it, or jazz, as Béla does, for instance, or anything. You can play anything on the banjo and make it sound good.
I think we should do another take. Well, maybe I can't, but they can.
Yeah, one more of those for me.
We began by calling this the story of two musicians who mostly go their own ways. But really, it is the story of two rare talents and one rare friendship. Consider the essence of music. You play one note after the other, and you make a melody. For harmony, however, you have to sound at least two notes together. Not only can you hear the harmony made by these four hands, you can see it too.